Now I'm Instagram Live on the other one. I always stream to everybody at the same time. So we've got YouTube, our potty training and EC groups on Facebook, and the Go Diaper Free Facebook page and Instagram. So welcome. My name is Andrea Olson. I am at Go Diaper Free. Basically teach moms and dads of babies how to potty them from as early as birth. So here we are. Hello, welcome you guys. Good to see you today. So I'm going to be teaching 3 different things today in our Potty Lesson Live, and these will be repurposed for the podcast because I'm an efficient person and I like to, I don't have a lot of time to waste. It's the summertime. I've got a teenager babysitting for me, and so I don't have a lot of hours this summer to teach you guys, but I am going to be doing that today. We're going to cover 3 things. And let me just tell you what they are. First, I'm going to share about a time when Branson was small, when I was only catching the morning pee or poop. And that was it. And if that's you, you might have wanted to quit, but I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm also going to talk about diaper rash, Dr. Sears, and natural diaper rash treatment. So stay tuned for that one. And I'm going to talk about what is actually more convenient, EC or diapers. And as you guys know or may not know, I am 14 weeks pregnant tomorrow. So I'm out of breath already. I'm going to take some water real quick. And as long as I stay hydrated, hopefully my breath will stay about me. I feel huge. Anybody who's ever had a baby before and then you're pregnant again, you get so huge so fast, right? It's crazy. All right. Okay, cool. It looks like everybody is there on Instagram, and I've got everybody here on YouTube as well. So welcome, you guys. Let's dive in. And I will also, in the comments, if you'd like to put a topic that you want me to cover in a podcast in the future, which will also appear on my blog. It'll also appear on IGTV. It will also appear on YouTube. So I like to just kind of, you don't have to lift a finger. I'll just show up wherever you are. I also always post it to my newsletter. If you're not on my email list, please get on it. But what would you like to see me cover in the future in the podcast? Go ahead and comment into there right now if you have any ideas. And also, be sure to search my blog and my podcast because I probably have covered what you're asking about, but I would be happy to cover it again in a different way if you'd like. All right, let's start off. So again, I'm going to be repurposing these for my podcast. So I might mention a show link or something, but those aren't going to be live until the week of that show. But you will see a replay if you have to hop on and off. So the first one we're going to do is episode 205. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me here. And here goes. You're watching it live. I'm recording live. I'm going to make sure. Yep, I'm good. So last time we talked about a time from the past when Branson was 1 and Cooper was 2.5 years old, and we got Cooper to stop peeing the bed at night. And also talked about dealing with my 1-year-old at that time. So today we're going to backtrack again to a very interesting time when Branson was young, when I was only catching the morning pee or poop, and how difficult that can be if this is your first time doing EC, maybe that's you, and how it could make you really want to quit, but how we got through it. And also, as I've been helping hundreds of thousands of parents all over the world, and also my own 5 children, I know that this is part of the process for some babies, and we just stick with it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we did and what you can do if this happens to you. And even if you just can't figure out anything else to do with EC, today's episode is going to talk about what you can do at the bare minimum to use this as an exposure technique so that you maybe don't have to potty train later on, like I didn't have to, or if you do have to potty train, it'll be a lot easier. So you can read the full written version of this episode over at godiaperfree.com/205. Find it on the blog. It's called Why I'm Only Catching the Morning Pee or Poo Lately. So let's dive right in. This was back in December of 2017. So this is actually a little bit before last week's episode's topic. And yes, Andrea Olson has had a potty pause. Newsflash, it doesn't only happen to people who've never done this before. It happens to me, who probably knows more about the topic than anyone else in the world right now. I would say that going through this potty pause was my first time with all of my kids. He is my, 4th baby out of 5. I'm pregnant with number 6, so he'll be in the middle still. And yeah, we were going through an elimination communication potty pause at that time. And what that means is a time when 2 or more weeks have passed and you have not caught a thing. Your baby's resisting. They are literally making it very, very hard to even go near the toilet or the bathroom and you're kind of freaking out inside. That's a potty pause. In the potty training world, it's called a potty strike. So it's different here because this is just part of the process sometimes. And if you go do the show notes, you'll see a link to an article on potty pauses. And it's called When EC Stops Working, How to Address an EC Potty Pause. And we also talk about the part in my book on potty pauses in that section. I talk about how sometimes it's part of the process. So that's kind of what we're going to demonstrate today. And I'm going to read it as if it's happening back then. So let's get in the time machine, backtrack about 5 years. We are going through an elimination communication potty pause. Yes, yours truly, Andrea Olson, Queen of Infant Potty Training, also has potty pauses. But I am catching the morning pee and poop if I'm lucky. This is what Branson, 10 months, looks like on the toilet right after he wakes up. So there's a photograph. You'll see it over on the show notes. And he's super happy, willing, engaged, and he is pottying. Then he gives a very common poop signal, which is staring off into space. How many of you guys have that one? So I caught a picture of that. Aha. To my very trained potty eye, he is about to do something. Sure enough, next up is the infamous baby poop face, the one that looks kind of like this, where they're just bearing down and turning red. Yes, there's a photo of that on the show notes as well. And here comes the big push. So if your baby does this while they're in a diaper, anybody who's like never done EC before out there, if you've ever seen your baby do this while in a diaper, gently say wait and transport to the toilet. 9 times out of 10, a baby, not necessarily a toddler, but a baby will finish on the toilet. Just a little tip there. And this, folks, is our one catch of the day lately. Dun, dun, dun. And most of you would probably quit by this time. You'd be like, okay, this doesn't work. So why the potty pause? Well, often babies have a potty pause, which means they resist the potty or won't go on it, but only in the diaper backup for days, weeks, or months on end, because they are about to reach a developmental milestone. About to being the key term. My baby, well, he is working very hard on 2 new teeth, and he's working very hard on this, and the photo shows him climbing up the stairs. And he is just about ready to walk. How it feels for me to be in a pause? Well, since I know, because I've studied it, and if you've read my book, you too have studied it, I know that a pause precedes a developmental leap. I am relaxed about it, and this is important, to be relaxed. I know that EC is not ruined, that all is not lost, that we will be back on track once B is done with all the big work he's doing. And I am savoring our one catch of the day, practicing major gratitude for that one for sure. As I do this, guess what? Magically, day by day, hour by hour, I am catching more and more. Our pause has lasted a total of 2 weeks so far. We've caught 1 to 5 pees or poops a day, had a ton of misses, some in the diaper, some absolute disasters on the floor. Remind me to share that story. And we've kept on keeping on. After 4 babies, we know that this is just part of the process, and we stay the course. So here's what I plan to do next. And these are the key points for you guys tuning in today, 5 years later. In light of the pause, here's my current plan, what I'm doing to get through this pause with flying colors. Number 1 of 4, I am staying the course. I will not stop doing EC. I will do the 4 easy catches and nothing extra, but anything extra is bonus. This is what we do. The diaper is not a toilet. It is a backup, and it is the perfect tool for a potty pause. And again, if you guys didn't know, the 4 easy catches are every wake up, every sign of a poop, every diaper change, whether they go or not, doesn't matter, and before going in and out of something. So I continue to do it with the 4 easy catches only. Number 2 part of the plan, I am switching to cloth during the day. I've been lax using disposables, and he is beginning to not mind peeing in them. Guys, this is a red flag when they start to not mind peeing in them. That's when you're supposed to take them away. Therefore, we will return to daytime cloth diapers next week in preparation for the upcoming transition to a fully walking baby. Number 3 of our plan. So number 1 was staying the course. Number 2 is switching to cloth. Number 3, once he's walking, I will begin teaching him the potty process. I will teach movement to the potty, more sign language like potty or go or whatever you choose, how to push his pants down, how to mount the potty, how to get on it and off of it, and get into a solid routine during every transition time that makes sense. And you can learn more of that through a link to my mini course on Wrap Up, which goes over all that. But yeah, once your child starts walking, you can start teaching the potty process. Number 4, I'm also providing lots of privacy. And you guys, I have been talking about this so much for the last few months because it's been working for you guys. When we go to the toilet, I busy myself with other things and I place him on the toilet seat reducer. And I've got it linked to the one that I use, the Ginsey one, to ensure he doesn't escape. So I set him on the big toilet seat reducer, busy myself with other things. I am close by in case he jumps. Use caution. I'm not responsible for your baby. You are. But usually with my baby, this particular one, turning my back for just a moment gives him the privacy he needs to relax and pee and poop. And Cooper, my next oldest, needed me to be exactly 10 feet away. So go figure. Twyla needed me to be right next to her, touching distance. So every baby is a little different, but giving privacy was point number 4. And I would suggest the same to you. If everything has fallen off, all the wheels have fallen off, and you're just like, I don't think we're catching. We're just doing terribly. Everything was great, and now everything is like, eh. Stay the course, switch to cloth. When they're walking, teach the potty process, and I would say remove the diapers and provide privacy. And I have to tell you, the other thing that I did, so he was 10 and a half months at this time. At 12 months, I actually took him out of diapers because with Cooper, I waited a little while longer, even though he wasn't pooping in them. And I would say with Cooper, that was a mistake. It became more difficult to do stuff without diapers as a backup. He liked them. So with Branson, a month and a half after I wrote this post, I actually took him out of diapers and put him into tiny trainers or tiny undies during the day. And I was terrified, you guys. I was like, there's no way. He doesn't seem like he's there yet. And I don't feel there yet. And I'm busy. I have 4 kids and 2 businesses. I'm like, what? He's peeing in his diaper. I'm hardly catching anything still. What happened was magic, you guys. He actually rose to the occasion and we were like totally synced up. And he was fairly dry most of the time. And we just worked on point 3 here, teaching the potty process. Because he started walking, I took off the diapers. No more daytime diapers except for nap and nighttime, and he was great. So it's a little more to that update. So if you, my dear listener and watcher, if you are going through a potty pause, check out my mini course on potty pauses. It's uber helpful and covers exactly what I recommend in much more detail, but not too much detail because we don't have time for that, right? I would also do the 4 things that I'm currently doing, and I would take heart. Trust the process and know that this is part of it. And in that, I link to episode 23 of my godiaperfree.com/23. We'll get you there. It's called Potty Pauses, a Refreshing New Perspective. And it really means that you are about to round the corner and be wrapping it up. I mean, literally, I had 2 months notice from Branson that he was ready to go. So are you in a potty pause? If so, what are you going to do differently based on what you've read in this post, listened to in this podcast, watched in this video? And if you aren't in a potty pause, have you been in the past? And do you have any additional tips that I didn't cover that helped you get through it? Please comment or let me know either on all the socials, or you can go to godiaperfree.com/205, which is where the full transcript of this. And in case you weren't good at taking notes, I got everything right there. I've also got some resources to recommend. Getting EC Back on Track is another mini course. Potty Time Mastery will help you know when to potty. And you might as well just get the whole bundle of all of them. And then we do have the new programs that are based on ages, newborns, mobile babies, and young toddlers. So if you're in a pause in any of these age ranges, it would be very helpful to get the deep dive program that is very, very, very in-depth on only your age range. And you can check out all of that at godiaperfree.com/store, where I have everything you could possibly need to do this. At the very least, definitely check out the rest of the podcast. Leave a comment over on iTunes. Let us know what you think. And I want to hear from you in the comments. We can't wait. We love responding to these. And since I posted this 5 years ago, I already have 27 comments there that we've responded to. And I'd love to have 27 more. So I'll see you over there. godiaperfree.com/205. And if you're going through a pause, just trust the process and hang in there. Babies grow up so fast, and you're going to someday be like, oh my gosh, this is not a baby anymore. She's like a teenager. And I was so stressed out about that one little thing. And that's all it was. So just remember, it's very, very fast. This isn't the end of the world, and you're going to be fine. And hopefully today's lesson has helped you to get past what you're facing right now. All right, you guys take care. Now that's the first one. I told you I'd be out of breath because I'm pregnant. I don't know why I can't breathe. My belly's not that big. But I did want to let you guys know. Just check in the comments over here. I would love to hear what you would like me to cover in a future podcast. Looks like Instagram's having trouble right now. So I've got a couple. Thank you, Shay, for yours from Facebook. EC with an unsupportive or objective family. I will notate that down as a possibility. And let's see. I'm just going to take a little screenshot of that. And then on Instagram, oh, yep, looks like we're back on. Chrissy Chu wants to know, at what age do they start to mind feeling wet and using cloth diapers is helpful? Really, it's whatever backup works for which age you're at. I mean, it literally varies so much across all different ages. But when they start to not mind feeling wet is when cloth diapers is helpful. You want to regain their sensitivity there. So if you notice that they're just like peeing in it whenever or just a little bit here and there, that means they're comfortable. And let me see. Keep scrolling up. Let me see. Try it. Okay, and if you're having problems with EC and you have my book, we have 24/7 support with my coaches on our off Facebook group, which could be helpful. If you have any ideas of what you want me to cover or requests for the future podcast, just write them in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next one. So if you just joined me, I am recording podcasts for my next, three of my next 5 episodes. And you can check out my podcast at iTunes, or, I post on Instagram every time as well. Now we're going to talk about diaper rash. If you have had diaper rash, your child has had diaper rash. Hey, maybe you have too. You can write that in the comments. Put rash. I'm curious if you guys have these, or if you're doing EC and you're avoiding them. All right. Next up, catching my breath, and now I'm ready to record. And again, I'm going to mention a link, and this will have the show notes later. But if you want to check out the diaper rash post right now on my blog, just search diaper rash when you go to the blog page, and you'll be able to find some really awesome resources. But I'm going to share those with you right now. All right, here's the next episode. Hey, you guys. This week, we're going to be talking about diaper rash. And if you've been doing EC from birth, you probably don't need to listen to this one, to be honest. But if you haven't and you're just joining us in the EC journey later on, sometime other than newborn, you may have dealt with this and it might have led you to find out what EC is because you were told to give diaper free time and you're like, wait, can I do this more? My baby loves it. You can check out the full written transcript of this episode over at godiaperfree.com/206. Over there, we've got links to everything I mentioned in today's episode, including the very special cream I use and also some of the resources that I mentioned in today's show. So here goes Dr. Sears diaper rash and natural diaper rash treatment. That's a mouthful. Natural diaper rash treatment. It's possible and it's simple. So today I'll share why and how through the lens of practicing infant pottying, which is different from potty training toddlers. So I'm a pretty avid follower of attachment parenting practices, even going on my 6th baby now. We co-sleep, we breastfeed, we baby wear, we do elimination communication, which is totally in line with AP principles, although it's missing from the AP books. In fact, I bought 7 of Dr. Sears' parenting books and read them as the gospel of my early months with my newborn first boy. However, the rare holes in his theories are beginning to show up in a few places as I get wiser as a mom, namely pottying, toilet training, and diapers. So the topic that I'm covering today is diaper rash treatment, and this also has some holes in his theories. And let me just preface this by saying I love Dr. Sears and his son, Dr. Bob Sears, on my podcast a few weeks ago. You can check that out at godiaperfree.com/188. It's about an hour and a half long, and you guys who listen to my podcast know that I never go that long. But wow, 188 is an amazing interview with Dr. Bob Sears about vaccines. So I love this family so much. And we have a little bit of a hole in the older Dr. Sears's books because of the socially imprinted understanding of toilet training, which has been warped by the diaper companies. You guys have heard me go on and on about this, but I won't today. All right. So when my baby was born, the first one, we began observing him during diaper free time just to get to know his patterns. How often is he going to the bathroom and the signals he gave off right before he peed or pooed. We began the EC method, also known as infant potty training, with him on day 1 of his birth. So at 16 months, he has, and this is when I first wrote notes on this about diaper rash. He was 16 months old. He had been and he usually had a dry backup at night and was pretty reliable in his pottying habits and communication. Anyway, because of these choices, we've never had diaper-related irritation, and not even a little bit. So you can imagine my horror when I trounced over to Dr. Sears' website back in the day and I looked up what he had to say about diaper rash. I was just curious. I wanted to see his take on it all because I like him and I look up to him. I wasn't looking for advice to clear up a case of diaper rash, but just his professional attachment parenting perspective on it. Then, oh my, in all caps, the words on his website read, "All babies have diaper rash." I probably fell off my seat. Further, it states, there are many, and this is a quote, there are many misconceptions about a baby's bottom. It is supposed to be perfectly smooth and rash-free. Diaper rash is abnormal. Diaper rash is a sign of food or formula allergies. Diaper rash means the baby has bad diarrhea or a yeast infection. Having a diaper rash is a normal part of being a baby. There are many ways you can limit the amount of rash, but from time to time it will flare up again. Ugh. You guys, I was freaking out. These are misconceptions about the way a baby's bottom should be. I'm going to go through these, but oh my God. Okay. Deep breaths. Let's take a closer look at Dr. Sears' facts point by point. And again, I love this guy. And it's a big call out like, hey, dude, you got to update your stuff, man. So my EC-oriented response to these diaper rash facts, number 1, all babies have diaper rash. Sorry, Dr. Sears, and anyone else who thinks this, and maybe you think this, but all babies do not have diaper rash. Or perhaps I didn't give birth to babies. Maybe they're all puppies. It's possible, but I'm pretty sure that all babies do not have diaper rash because that would have meant that all the babies of, history. Do you think there was diaper rash back in the day? I don't think so. In fact, in the early 1900s, did you guys know that if your baby had diaper rash, you would be accused of neglect? Yeah. Child abuse, neglect. You're not a good parent if your child has diaper rash back in the early 1900s and mid 1900s. So, and I couldn't find the source. If you guys find the source on that, let me know. But I was pretty appalled by that. All babies have diaper rash. Maybe more proper would be all babies are at risk of diaper rash if they're wearing a diaper for 8 to 10 hours, like the package says you can. Okay, number 2, a baby's bottom, and we're going to get to the remedies as well, but a baby's bottom is not supposed to be perfectly smooth and rash-free. Okay, so what I hear you saying, Dr. Sears, is that babies' bottoms are supposed to be red, irritated, rashy, splotchy, and rough. Supposed to be, eh? I'll use Kaiva, my first, as an example again. His bottom and my 4 others have never had rashes, never been rough or irritated, never been anything but perfectly smooth and rash-free. And actually, they smell really freaking good because they never smell like poop. Occasionally, in the first 2 months of life, we had to put balm on his crevices because he sweated into them, and I failed to wash the area in time because, wow, new mom overwhelm. But the pinkish crack would heal within the day. They always get gunk in their cracks, right? Okay, so that's number 2. Babies' bottoms are not supposed to be smooth. Well, yeah, they are. And you know what? Babies are like so adorable. That's probably why parents want to take care of them. It's really the way we were designed, right? All babies of all animals mostly are cute so that we'll take care of them. Okay, diaper rash is normal is number 3 that he says. Was diaper rash normal before disposable? So diaper rash is probably normal today. I'll give him that. But was it normal before disposable diapers prior to 1959 or 1961, depending on your source? No, it was not the norm, although it occasionally did occur when yeast colonized a cloth diaper, but generally not common or normal. And was it normal before commercial cloth diapers hit the market about 150 years ago? No way. The beautiful paintings in my favorite museum in the world in Los Angeles, the Getty, come to mind. The medieval babes depicted in the great works of art all feature supple skin, a lack of diapers, and no red areas, as far as I could tell. Okay, number 4, diaper rash is not a sign of food or formula allergies. I do agree with this one, although I think I'm wrong actually. When I first researched this, I did agree with it, but I kind of feel like formula allergies and food can cause the poop to be irritating, and if there's a diaper on top of that, yes. But anyway, we'll go on to the point. Diaper rash is a sign of a diapered baby. Any diapered baby. And it's okay if you use diapers as a backup or if you don't know how to do EC yet, but a diapered baby is going to, like a non-diapered baby probably isn't going to get a rash. So only babies who wear diapers get rash, cloth or disposable. And out of these, only those who are left to sit in their urine and feces for longer than a few minutes, did you hear that? Minutes, develop diaper rash at all. And this isn't the parent's fault. So let me just tell you something that I tell everybody. And if this is your first time listening to me, you'll know. You won't know. I don't blame the parents for neglecting their babies by leaving them in a diaper for more than a few minutes. I blame the diaper companies and their marketing and how they've informed our pediatricians and educated them to tell us to do this. And the packages even say, leave them in for 8 to 10 hours. It's fine. And don't change them unless it's poop. But that is not good for your child. And if you were led to believe that, you've been duped and it's not your fault. Okay? It's their fault. They want to make a buck off of you. So they want you to have maximum convenience and buy more and more blindly. So these days, anyone who leaves their baby in urine and feces longer than a few minutes would be most of the diapered babies who are susceptible to rash, right? So got a couple more to dispel. Number 5, diaper rash is not caused by bad diarrhea or a yeast infection. So take my friend, we'll call her Mary. Her baby had recurring diaper rash due to the yeast growing in her cloth diapers. And maybe you guys have had this experience before. Maybe it led you to EC. She had to use disposables to get rid of the rash because the yeast kept inflaming the diaper rash over and over again. And even as much as she stripped those diapers, she couldn't get rid of it. And if a baby is left to sit in diarrhea or yeast for that matter, I guarantee you that soft, supple skin will become irritated. And some babies are more sensitive than others. So maybe the diarrhea or yeast itself doesn't cause the rash, but sitting in it does. Okay? And for those of you for whom EC doesn't work, I just want to tell you, first of all, we can help you with that. If you're a book owner, we can totally help you with that. But if you just give up and you're just like, okay, I'm ready to throw in the towel, Andrea, I'm too stressed. This is too triggering for me. I can't do it. That's fine. You can do potty training at like 16 to 18 months, and you're gonna be right where other parents were in the 50s and before. You're gonna be great. It's gonna be easy, da da da. But I want to tell you, at the very least, between now and then, change your baby often because it'll prevent things like diaper rash, and also just, it'll feel better because you want to do EC, but you can't if this is you. Then just changing more often will help. And also spending a lot more money on diapers because you're changing very often will get you to want to potty train at 16 or 18 months, right? Okay, back to the topic. Number 6, having a diaper rash is a normal sign of being a baby. So if being a baby means, and is defined as, being diapered full time and left to sit in baby's waist all day, then yes, diaper rash is a normal sign of being a baby in modern, industrialized Western nations. We can agree on that, right? However, if being a baby means having all needs met until the baby can do for himself, like being fed, being helped to sleep, being comforted and loved, kept warm, and having potty needs tended to, then no, diaper rash is not a normal sign of being a baby. What does being a baby mean anyway? Perhaps another episode of mine that's coming up will help you wrap your head around that. It's called What's More Convenient, EC or Diapers? And that is going to be episode 207 in a couple of weeks. It's also available on my blog. But yeah, what does being a baby mean? We got to question that because people just throw that around like willy-nilly. Number 7 of what Dr. Sears had said. There are many ways you can limit the amount of rash, but from time to time it will flare up again. So if you full-time diaper, yes, this is probably true. And you guys, if you don't know how to do EC and you're like, I feel really guilty now, Andrea, thanks a lot, I hate you, then just get my book and learn how to do it, because it's literally not rocket science. It is so super simple. I make it very easy. But if you diaper full-time and you're totally like, whoa, this is just all I know how to do, again, it's not your fault. It will, you probably, if you have diaper rash, it will flare up again and again for sure. Yeah. But as Dr. Sears is an expert and so respected, perhaps Dr. Sears can expand his page to include an alternative to diaper rash for parents who are desperately seeking one. Yeah. Perhaps, and I probably should have talked to his son about this a few weeks ago, but he could replace his sentence with this quote, there, and this is me. There is one way you can totally avoid diaper rash, and it happens to be in alignment with my baby bees. Those are the attachment parenting principles. It's called elimination communication. You can both avoid diaper rash and honor the communication value of your baby's cries, which he totally focuses on in AP, by pottying your baby. I wrote Dr. Sears to ask him, but I never heard back. So anyway, the communication value of your baby's cries, he says, Dr. Sears says in all of his AP books, which I love, like the baby book, the big one too, is every time your baby cries, it's because they're trying to communicate with you. And that's very, very true. So EC is such a way to respond to that communication, right? So what I did agree with on Dr. Sears' site is when he said this, quote, why babies get diaper rash. In case you didn't know, or maybe you're pregnant, you're just like, okay, I just want to learn everything I can before I have this baby. Start with ultra-sensitive skin, add the chemicals and moisture of urine and stools, cover the area with a diaper that rubs back and forth, and you have diaper rash. This damaged skin is susceptible to the invasion of bacteria and yeast, which can make the rash worse. 100% agreed. These are good, solid facts. Thank you, Dr. Sears. Then he goes on to say this. 7 ways to prevent or minimize diaper rash. If your baby does not have a problem with diaper rash, then you don't need to be too strict with these preventative measures. Well, that's what he says. However, if you're constantly battling rash, here are some helpful hints to minimize it. Number 1, change diapers frequently, at least every 2 hours in newborns. You can space this out as baby starts to urinate less often. Number 2, change poopy diapers right away. This is a lot of trouble at first since newborns often have small, frequent stools. This will slow down as baby grows or as you start pottying your baby. They consolidate. So anyway, I disagree, and that's the end of his quote. I disagree with the first sentence. I don't think this should just be somebody who's battling rash. I think every parent should follow this advice, whether they're dealing with diaper rash or not. No baby deserves to sit in a diaper for longer than 2 hours, pee or poop, just saying. However, I'd recommend that Dr. Sears add, and he's got a very long list of 8 that I did not read, an 8th way on his list of diaper rash treatment ideas. It prevents it altogether by addressing the numbers 1 and 2 above, which were change diapers frequently and change poopy diapers right away. Okay, so here is my prescription for you guys for diaper rash treatment. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a soon-to-be 6-time mom and EC nerd. So how to avoid or treat the dreaded diaper rash? Obviously, elimination communication is your best bet. With EC, the baby does not become accustomed to going in the diaper or sitting in moisture and feces all day. And thus diaper rash and other infections caused by unsanitary stuff on their skin are less likely. Whether you use disposables or cloth diapers as a backup, doesn't matter which kind you choose, if you practice EC along with drying any wet areas prior to replacing the diaper, you might avoid diaper rash altogether. So many do in our community, you guys, and I'm included in that. So I'd even go so far to say, yeah, that EC is the number 1 diaper rash treatment out there and method of prevention in the whole world. Also, diaper free time, which is recommended intermittently, whether practicing full-time or part-time EC, I totally recommend you do it, especially after a catch. This helps air out the bum and can help quickly resolve diaper rash or the yeast that causes it. Sometimes putting a cloth diaper back on continues the yeast growth. If you've had it, you know. Diaper free time is a time to heal. And I'll mention the cream in a second, but you can skip the whole diaper rash problem, you guys, by practicing the infant potty training method. You can even skip having a diaper genie. I've never had a diaper pail. Like, it's such a total paradigm shift, and it's so easy to start. You just have to know what you're doing. So natural diaper rash treatment, where Dr. Sears and I agree, if you are struggling with diaper rash with your infant, give plenty of diaper free time. The Baby Book by Dr. Sears covers this on page 113. Also, I add to his prescription, try doing some part-time EC. And I've got a podcast on part-time EC as well. Let me see which one that one is. Part-time EC Explained is episode number 5. OG, man, it's way back in the day. GoDiaperFree.com/5. Okay. Try doing some part-time EC and add in treatment with copious amounts of the magical cream I recommend in my supply list, and problem solved. This magical cream is Earth Mama Baby Bottom. It used to be called Angel Baby's Bottom Cream, and now it's called Diaper Rash Cream, of course. But yeah, after they go to the bathroom or just whenever you're changing their diaper, I would wipe everything. I like to use diaper with a Y, DYPER. It's a subscription-based biodegradable wipes and biodegradable disposable diapers. I love them. They're awesome. GoDiaperFree.com/DYPER will get you a special deal on those. They're amazing. And their wet wipes are very thin, like 7th Gen used to be. And they biodegrade, which is best. So once you're changing the baby's diaper, right? You know, they get like white gunk and redness and all this other weird stuff in their crevices. Wipe them down with one of those wipes. Dry it with a soft cotton cloth. And then put this Earth Mama Angel Baby Diaper Rash Cream in all the crevices. Not where it's not supposed to go, but in the crevices, like between the leg fold, all the folds of all the fat, you know. And then put the diaper back on like that. This is amazing at clearing up redness and other little problems with hygiene at that age. So anyway, that's it. Plenty of diaper free time, part-time EC, start getting the hang of pottying, maybe at the 4 easy catches, and use the cream, keep them dry. Don't ever dry them off with a commercial wet wipe and then like leave them wet. That's a bad idea. Okay. So I'm curious, do you have any tricks for halting diaper rash in its tracks, doing EC or not? Or has the EC method become your diaper rash treatment of choice? Do share in the comments over the show notes at GoDiaperFree.com/20. What number are we on? 5. No, 6. This is 206. So go over to 206. And I would love to hear if you have more tips that we don't know about. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Andrea Olson with Go Diaper Free. All right, you guys. So that is number 206. I have one more for you, but I'm out of breath because I'm pregnant. So let's take this time to look through the comments and drink some water or some tea. And you get these podcast episodes before anybody else. Lucky ducky. If there's anything else you want me to cover on the podcast, just write a little note to me in the comments saying, yeah, cover this. I haven't seen this yet, or this is up for me right now. Cover this. And I will. And I'm just going to answer Caro Vanilla 16 on Instagram. Hello. You're interested in EC, but you have a few questions. Does EC mean you have to constantly take your baby to the bathroom? No, you can totally do it part-time. You can do it just at diaper changes, just the poops, just the wake-ups, before and after putting them into something. But just even those first 3, those are called the easy catches. And if you get my quick start guide, my easy start guide, it lists those on there, including how to hold them. So you can get that at GoDiaperFree.com/start and check that out. But oftentimes, like, they pee every 10 to 15 minutes. Why would you do that to yourself? Newborn baby wakes up, potty them, nurse them. First fuss is a sign you can potty them then. You're going to have a lot of luck with the beginner. A newborn, beginner's luck. That's what I mean. And then do they have sphincter control early on after birth? Yes, they have sphincter control immediately. And in fact, sometimes they will, if they're stressed during the birth, they will release their meconium. That's proof of their sphincter control. And they get too stressed, they're going to release because they feel unsafe or they can't breathe or whatever it is. And if you've had that happen at birth. But within a few days, and especially when you catch your first poop, it's amazing. They will start to look to you and kind of wait a second. And they'll be pushing and working it out, but they'll like not go. They'll start to hold it for you really, really quickly. The diaper companies have informed the pediatricians in their medical manuals. They have changed them all since the 50s, and they say that they don't have sphincter control till 18 months, but that's not true. That's only been the case, like flaccid sphincter control is because of long-term diapering. Are there nannies that specialize in EC? Doubtful, but if you get a nanny from a third world country that currently does something like EC, because over half the world's babies are done with diapers at 1, and they probably won't want to do it because they'll be like, no, we're in America, you're diapering, we should do it your way. If you're in America, no matter where you are, if you get in touch with any kind of nanny who is from, and then let's see, like Mexico, for example, Guatemala, Nicaragua, I'm thinking of places near me, they're going to be more likely to already, oh yeah, did your grandma do this? And they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, can you do that with my baby? That's a really great way in. That's for Elixo. And then, yeah, if you have anything you want me to cover on a podcast, you can write that in there. So glad you guys are here. I am 14 weeks pregnant, and I am finally, I'm going to do a show soon about morning sickness because I'm finally, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm like close to on the other side of it. All right. And I have one more podcast to record. Just taking a little brain break. Yes, Define on YouTube. Thank you for sharing that. EC'd from birth, never had diaper rash. I always suggest EC and diaper free time when people ask about diaper rash. Yeah, so spread the word, you guys. I mean, diaper rash is every parent who has a baby with diaper rash is like, oh, this is so terrible. So do them a favor and tell them about EC. And yes, I've done a podcast on nighttime EC. Still unsure what to do. If your baby, Define, is staying dry most naps at night, then you're doing great. You could stop using a diaper backup at those times, or you could just keep using it and reuse the same one until the tabs fall off, like I like to do. And then if you ever want to wrap up nighttime EC, Define, I would say check out my podcast on the Dream Pee, and I'll give you a link for that. That's episode 94. So go to diaperfree.com/94. And the Dream Pee is something that you can do to keep your baby dry all night if they're not wearing a diaper, or even if they are. But if she's already staying dry, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, upset when I try to offer. Yeah, then don't offer at night. Just maybe the Dream Pee podcast will give you some clues. And then I've got few moments, I'll do the third and final episode. And for Reha on YouTube, it's okay. You found me very late. That's all right. Yes, you should totally do. Let me just type in. I'm hoping that this goes in, but it's godiaperfree.com/PT book, potty training book, PT book. That's for you, for Reha. Just do the potty training experience. You need to know what you're doing. Half of my book is troubleshooting. Half of it is the method, and just do it. And if you have another baby in the future, you can totally do EC with them. And yeah, there's not a lot of good knowledge out there. So definitely tell your friends after all of that, because we want everybody to have the option of doing some EC if they want to. And if you didn't know, you didn't know. Not your fault. That would be the diaper company's fault. It's not your fault. Anastasia wants to know how you get little boys to pee standing up. You can get one of those little plastic. It's not a mini potty like the ones I sell on tinyundies.com that sits on the floor, but it's a mini urinal that goes on the wall. So you can have them practice with that. If you put a Cheerio in the toilet, the big toilet, and put a stool in front of it, you can have them try to aim for the hole in the middle of the Cheerio. That can be fun. You can also have dad or another gentleman take them outside and show them how to pee onto a bush. And that will encourage it as well. And and you also asked a question. I feel because he does EC, he wakes up at night because he's peeing. Only use diapers at night. Anastasia, I would actually just keep using diapers at night for just a little while. Oh, yeah, but I'll potty him at night. Dream Pee episode also. It's my prescription for you. Episode 94. Listen to that, because you guys, when you go to bed, you can offer a potty right before, or when you're going to bed without waking up your child, and it can help them stay dry all night. Cool. I'm glad I looked over here at these comments. Sweet. Let me see. Instagram, we got anything? Do babies pee during a dream feed? Sometimes with some babies, cababulous. Some of them stay, this is over on Instagram, some of them stay dry all night, even with nursing at night. A lot of them will pee their diaper when you're nursing and then fuss and cry and not want to go back to sleep because they need to pee. So that when they wake up, you could potty them, then nurse them back to sleep. Or you could nurse them while pottying them over the sink. There are many options there, but it just depends on the baby. One way to find out is if they're naked. You can see. And Alixo, oh, thank you, Liz. Do you think working moms can EC even part-time successfully? Boy, yeah. Super part-time EC a success story is my episode 82.5. So you're going to want to do godiaperfree.com/82.5 or just look me up. 82.5 is super part-time EC success story. You will be inspired. Hey, Alixo's new. And then I'm going to go back to I'm recording some podcasts here. I'm going to do the last one, but yeah. Where did I learn about EC? So, a friend of a friend lived in California. I lived in California. I wasn't going to have babies because gross. I don't want to change poopy diapers. I hated babysitting because of that. They pottied their baby in the sink and didn't use diapers. And I was like, whatever that is, I'm going to do that. And I could probably have a kid now because that sounds awesome. And so I researched it while I was pregnant. Then I went to do it and I didn't know anybody else who did it. So I was like, this is really hard. But it worked and I figured it out. And then I did a lot of research, helped a lot of people on email listservs and stuff before Facebook groups. And then I made my book on it, Go Diaper Free, very visual, and an audio version too for busy moms, just showing and demonstrating with videos as well how to do this. That's my background. And I'm on my 6th pregnancy right now. All right, we've had such success from 4 weeks following your tips. Thank you. She's now 18 months and using the potty on her own a lot. Yay, kind matters. Woohoo. You guys, see, if you're thinking about EC, you should totally do EC. It's not as hard as you think. Totally did part-time, very part-time. I was the only one that potties the baby while working. Yeah. And totally part-time is an exposure technique. You guys, just dip your little foot in. Next time your baby wakes up, take them. See what happens, especially if you have a newborn. And thank you, Anastasia. Thank you so much. And you're welcome, Priya. All right. You guys, I love this part of recording my podcast this way. It's so much better than just staring at a screen and like talking into a microphone. Yeah. So I get to answer and talk to you guys. Next up, we're going to talk about what's more convenient, EC or diapers. So again, this is for my podcast. The link that I mentioned is not live yet, but you can look this up on my blog if you're curious. And this will be an episode in a few more weeks. If you got any ideas of something you want me to cover on a podcast, you can type them in your comments. Hey, I'm Andrea with Go Diaper Free, and this is episode 207 of the Go Diaper Free podcast. What's more convenient, EC or diapers? I also have this, in case you prefer Spanish, written in Spanish language over at the show notes and in the English language on the show notes. And you can find those at godiaperfree.com/207. And there you can read about things, click on whatever I refer to in this show, etc. But let's talk about it. Because diapers were invented to be convenient and make things very easy for us moms and dads, but mostly it was moms back then. But is EC convenient? A lot of people think that it's not. A lot of people think it's so hard that they never even start. Maybe that's you. So today we're going to dissect that and figure out what is more convenient. Elimination communication, first of all, is often seen as inconvenient. It's different, unknown, it's mysterious, potentially dirty. You might get peed or pooped on. Oh my gosh. But the truth, let me debunk this myth clearly and calmly. Pottying your baby, when started and practiced properly, is actually less messy and takes less time than dealing with diaper changes. It causes less struggle throughout the day. Most babies hate lying down for the old diaper change, don't they? And then later on, when other kiddos are engaged in months and even years of conventional toilet training, while your kiddo regularly goes potty on, the potty, you probably won't be sitting there hemming and hawing about how elimination communication was inconvenient. Elimination communication does take effort. Yes, it takes a bit of upfront effort to get started, you guys. Yes, you need to sit down and learn EC. But it's kind of like any good investment. You put in effort and energy up front, and you get a huge payoff later on, hopefully, if it's a good investment. And that is only if you start in the right way. You can go get some free info off the internet, off a Facebook group, from God knows who across the world on the internet. And you can try to wing it and then write me in 12 months with an update. I get these all the time, you guys. I don't know where I screwed up. It doesn't work anymore. We gave up. EC can totally backfire. So if you've winged it or you have a friend who winged it, I take it all back. In this light, yeah, EC is very inconvenient because you haven't started correctly. But also I want to mention that potty learning is inconvenient no matter the age. So let's get back to the real basic concept here, one that may come as a shock. Potty learning, no matter what age you begin, is just plain inconvenient. In our society, we all want convenience. Me too. I'm pregnant with number 6. I have 2 businesses. I need convenience, shortcuts, best practices. I want your tips. I want your tricks. And I want to plain avoid all the hard stuff. We don't want to deal with poop. I certainly don't. And we don't want to get peed on. Nope. Whether you start at birth or 12 months or 36 months, with potty learning, you're going to have to deal with poop and pee, period. So let's just all take a breath and know that this is part of the process of having a child. And we're not living in an indigenous intact culture where they could just walk outside with the rest of the kids from the tribe and go potty. We actually have to use clothing and potties and things like that. So yeah, potty learning is going to be a little bit inconvenient no matter what age you do it. Disposable diapers are convenient. How many of you guys agree with me? I think disposable diapers are super convenient, but there are caveats. So disposable diapers were invented so mothers didn't have to stay home and wash laundry all day long. It was part of the feminist movement. They are indeed very convenient, yet they are proven to delay potty training, especially these wonder diapers that can be worn for up to 12 hours. Take away the feeling of wetness, erase the instincts that encourage the baby to resist sitting in his pee or feces, which they're born with, and hush the communication about it. Shh, 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 just go in your diaper. And your baby will comply. This is what we're taught in our culture. It's not our fault. This is what we're taught to do. And that's what these diapers do. They take away the wetness, they erase the instincts, they actually make the muscle control down there flaccid, and they hush baby's communication about what's going on. She will learn that her potty is her diaper. When you decide that her potty shouldn't be her diaper any longer, she might just get confused. Then the convenience of disposable diapers magically disappears because her whole life she has been taught that her potty is this diaper. And this diaper has been convenient for all of you. And then when you decide that her potty shouldn't be the diaper anymore, or maybe it's time for kindergarten and you have to train her, this convenience disappears, right? So babies, newsflash, are not the most convenient crowd of humans. Birthing a baby, taking care of a baby's needs, feeding a baby, helping a baby to sleep. Oh, that's been my nemesis. Consoling a baby. Oh, by the way, I interviewed Nicole Johnson a few weeks ago about feeding and helping to sleep. Please, please, please check that one out. Helping to sleep, though, is part of the convenience of having a baby. Consoling, building trust, communicating, getting them to do what we want. Like toddlers. Dealing with spit up, poop, pee, messy eating, messy house, mess, mess, mess. Babies are totally not convenient. I think we can agree with that, right? But we try to make having them convenient. Put them in a crib. And I've tried that. I mean, I do that. Stick a pacifier in the mouth. I've done that. Feed them this formula to save your boobs and get them on a schedule. I've pumped and definitely fed my milk at a time that was more convenient for me. Let them cry it out. No, I can't do that, but maybe you have. It's what we're told to do, right? Help make this baby more convenient. How about this? Stick a diaper on them for at least 3 years till they say, I want to go in the potty now, Mom. And I'm not throwing judgments here. I'm just telling you, we all do what we can. We try to find the balance. We try to use the conveniences. Maybe a baby swing helps your baby actually nap, and that is your saving grace. That is great. But the things out there that we can buy to help make babies more convenient are endless, right? And the diaper thing, they tell us to do that so they can sell more diapers. It's not your fault. But it definitely makes things more convenient temporarily. The reality is, you guys, in our society, we make it a habit of making things convenient. We just do. We're an optimizing society. Constantly feeding a newborn is definitely inconvenient too, but every baby needs feeding. Being a responsive parent is certainly not always convenient. I think you'll agree with me on that, but it reaps the highest rewards. Helping a baby take a nap is super inconvenient, but we do it or we would all go insane, right? So, no judgment here. We all do what we can. We're all seeking balance, but wow, things are set up in this culture to convince us to have and to make things more convenient than maybe they should be. Okay, so I'm off my soapbox about that. Here are some tricks to do EC more conveniently. So there are some things you can do to do elimination communication with balance, convenience, and sanity intact. So we want to find some balance with this as well. I want you to do EC as often as you can. And this is custom to you. And I have no judgment for this. You want to do it once a day? Do it consistently. Part-time? Great. Poops only? Be consistent with it. Weekends only? Awesome. It works for people. Full-time? Sure. Do whatever you can, but do that consistently. Do it with a diaper backup. I totally get this question all the time. Do I have to do EC with no diaper? No. Diaper free does not mean no backup. A diaper free baby can still wear diapers. Mine all did till they started walking. The difference is that he's not dependent upon diapers, right? Many parents, myself included, use diapers just in case. We miss them. We're not doing EC right now. Whatever happens, we're traveling, but we're not married to them. The next thing we can do to make EC more convenient is learn how to do it right from the beginning. Please do not wing it. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. If you don't have my book, just get it. If you want to start with my easy start guide, get that. I'll link to those in the show notes over at godiaperfree.com/207. But godiaperfree.com/start is my easy start guide. Using even just what's on that one sheet will help you to not wing it. And if you like it and you catch a pee in the potty, boy, you're hooked from there. You want to learn how to do it properly, and that's with my book, Go Diaper Free. But I also have a program. So if you've got a newborn or you've got a mobile baby, you've got a young toddler, you can go into that program. They're all video, and I walk you through how EC is different at each age and really troubleshoot the nitty-gritty of if this happens, do this. And when do I move on from X to Y? I dispel all of that in there. But learn how to do it right. Be present with your baby and connected. While, and this is key, you guys, not hyper-focusing on your baby or on EC. And EC will flow smoothly if you do that. So be present with your baby and connected. This thing, get rid of it while you're with your baby as much as you can. I know it's hard and it's boring. You're just like, ugh, we're just sitting here and my baby's just like making noises and I don't even know any songs to sing anymore. I mean, like I'm at a loss. I definitely was there. I took a class on how to play with a baby when my first son was 3 months old because I didn't know what to do with him. But if you can, at all possible, be present with your baby and connected, EC will flow smoothly. If you're hyper-focusing on your baby or on an EC, it's going to kind of fall apart because we don't want that for them and they don't want that. But conduct your life in a busy, distracted manner, and EC probably won't work. I am manifesting generator if you're into human design. I am a quintuple Virgo. I am like super prone to busy, distracted manner. Okay. Probably more than anybody I've ever met. Everybody's like, how do you get so much done? And I have to catch myself. And the way that I catch myself and slow down, it's a constant process, you guys. I'm like, my brain is so overly active and I'm able to deeply focus and I'm able to do all this, but I get really, really bored during that newborn phase. So the best thing that I can say is that your baby will tell you. So my babies have always told me, hello, I don't like how busy and distracted you are by nature, Mom. Could you please slow down a little bit and be with me? One of my best friends in the world is the baby carrier. And that's really helped me to slow down during those newborn months and not be quite so bored. So I can go do life and they come along with me and it's really fun. It's just a little snippet of if you're like me. But if you're very busy and distracted, EC probably won't work because it's going to be very hard to fit that into the flow. Most things about parenting will likely crumble in your wake if you're like this, which will help you to reinvent yourself, which is an awesome thing. We all want to grow. So if we can be present and connected, how about this? When you're not feeling present and you're feeling disconnected, come back to being connected and present. And EC will get better, I promise you. You'll notice things that you had no idea were happening. And then the last thing I want to say about how to do EC conveniently, besides just doing it as often as you can, using a diaper as a backup, learn how to do it for real, be present with your baby. The last thing is to get support. So how many of you guys know somebody else who does EC? Probably not very many. Luckily, that number is growing. But if you don't know what to do when one little stumbling block happens, it could prevent you from continuing on with EC. With my book, Go Diaper Free, and my program and everything I offer, all comes with support from the coaches that I've trained, and they're amazing and they can help you. I also have a weekly Zoom group that's pretty new. It's called The Tribe, the Potty Tribe. GoDiaperFree.com/tribe will get you in there to our every Friday Zoom group where you can get like face-to-face support as well from the coaches, but get support somehow, okay? And usually it's just like one tiny little tweak, or you're just like, what do I do next? And you're fine. You just need to be told, hey, you're okay. So the key to balancing convenience and care. Here's where we get to the balance part. We've covered how society is helping us, pushing us, prodding us towards more and more convenience. Let's make this baby thing as easy as possible. But we also want to give really good responsive care, right? So this is the balance we need to make, moms and dads. Slowing down around life is key in our bustling society, and realizing that nothing about pottying a baby or even having a baby is convenient. Let's just admit that. With pottying, it's just a matter of when you choose to begin. With babies, it's just a matter of staying present and providing what the baby can't provide for himself. And it's a short amount of time. It passes so quickly, right? EC could very well seem less convenient in the beginning months and years, but it results in more convenience earlier than conventional potty training. You could cut down, average potty training right now in America is 36 to 38 months. That's average. That's just the middle. That's not even the outliers. With EC, typically we're out of diapers between 12 and 18 months. Less diaper changing equals more convenience. Pottying a baby versus changing a blowout, which newborns have all the time. Pottying the baby instead, way less time, way more convenient. I'm telling you, it's easier to start than you think. And if you're hitting a stumbling block, we can totally help you. But EC definitely does, on the outside, seem like, oh my God, that's so complicated and I can't even imagine. But it's more convenient, in my opinion, than diapers and potty training, okay? And not only is it more convenient, but you get more connection, you get more trust and better hygiene, which I love because I have a very sensitive nose, and more clarity about what is it to be a new mom or dad. I don't even know what I'm doing, but if you can do EC, babies are usually like, heck yeah, man, this is great. They align with you, they sync up, and then you get confidence as a new parent, which is awesome. So if your baby is 0 to 18 months, you can start EC today. If your child is, I'd say 16 months or up, you can start non-coercive potty training. And I have 2 books on those as well. Hopefully that helps a lot. And now I would love to know over at godiaperfree.com/207. I want your vote. EC or diapers, which is more convenient after listening to this show. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm Andrea Olson with Go Diaper Free. All right, you guys watching me do this live, you got the sneak peek on all of this. Oh, man. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me do this. It makes me come alive to have an audience. I've always been a performer. It looks like I lost my Instagram feed, so sorry for those of you who lost it, but that'll be on soon. And but YouTube, you got us through the end. And yes, Jill, oh my goodness, yes. EC poos are so much better than diapers. Okay, so I will be sharing this. We'll have this up on YouTube. You just had it, but you'll be able to rewatch this if you want to. This was 3 different topics today. We covered diaper rash, convenience, and then when a moment in Branson's childhood when I was only catching the morning pee or poop, how to address that potty pause. So hopefully you'll check those out on the podcast in the future on iTunes and on Spotify and anywhere else you can get podcasts. Really, I'm everywhere. And then we'll also have this up on IGTV every week that a podcast is released, which is on Tuesdays, and our email list. So if you're not on any of that, get on some of that. And then I'll let you know when all of these are up in their official formats. So thank you guys so much for being here. Yay. Thank you, Define, for being on the live stream. I love doing live streams. I think it's so much more fun than just like sitting here staring at a screen. All right. So I'll see you guys very, very soon the next time I sit down to record stuff. Also on YouTube, though, I do have a ton of content planned. What morning sickness is really life. couple things about my divorce and starting to date again. So stuff like that. We're going to have a little bit more expansion on topics, but I'm also going to be covering pregnancy, what workouts I'm doing, other things. I don't know. Just if you have any ideas of what you want me to do, you can message me on any of the socials, and I would be happy to share with you from my experience. And yeah, of course, we'll do easy stuff too. See you guys soon. Thank you.